welcome back to my channel. My name is Sierra, and today I am going to be doing a video on the Craftor UV resin. It's hard type. They did not ask me to review this. They asked if I was interested in trying it. I said yes. I like their epoxy resin a lot, so I'm really interested in seeing how their UV resin works, and I thought I would do a video and we'll find out together. Just a little heads up. The football game is on. My husband is watching the football game. I'm on our second floor. He's up on the third floor. Yes, we have a 3-story house, not including the basement. But you may hear him clap or shout or whatever, but it is what it is. So this is hard type resin. You get 3 bottles of 100 grams. And you get the little spout. It does come with instructions. For those who are not familiar with UV resin, I'm going to open this up and you do want to work in a well-ventilated area. If you're sensitive to this, you may want to wear a respirator or a mask. I do have an air purifier going. I am in a very well ventilated room. And I have a baby wipe with isopropyl alcohol to clean off all my tools, because I don't want sticky tools. I don't want to be handling anything that is resin related, whether it's epoxy resin or UV resin, with bare hands and getting it on my bare hands. I don't like the feel of that. So I have I do have another mold. What do I do with that? What did I do with my other mold? Is it looking me in the face and it was stuck to the box? Okay, I thought about what one I wanted to use. I decided I'm not going to use this one. I just want to use this one. Basically, I just want to see how this resin works and go from there. So I have silicone cup. I'm going to and I want to use some of this. It's called Belize. It's from Michael's. And I thought that I would tell a police story. Let me get a spoon. This stuff is so pretty and I don't use it enough. I just carefully put some in there and I'll mix as I go. So yeah, I do want to tell a police story. I just got to get some more resin in here. So basically all I'm going to do is we're going to fill up this heart here. And we're going to cure it in a couple of stages. Don't want to cure it all at once. And I'm going to tell one of the stories. I haven't told one in a while. Like I said, I have to be in the right headspace to tell some of these stories, but I've been trying to keep it lighthearted. You guys can tell me in the comments if you want me to go a little deeper into the other side of being a police officer. I know it's not something that everybody likes or wants to hear, but it's a part of me. So, but anyway, this one has to do with, it was on this UV resin. It got it's like a medium viscosity, in between a high and a low viscosity. So there is that. So I want to tell a story. It was around Christmas time. I had several years on the job, and we were dispatched to a carjacking. And this poor guy, He was younger guy in his 30s, I'd say mid 30s. And I believe, if I can remember correctly, I believe he was like an engineer for one of the big car companies. And he was driving a brand new Cadillac Escalade, a white one. Beautiful truck. I mean, this thing was decked out. And he didn't realize that he was in an area that was notorious for this stuff. To look at the area, you would think that it was nice. I mean, it had nice houses. The yards were kept up. I actually went to, I'm going to pop some bubbles here. I actually went to middle school in this area when I was younger, and it was very well maintained, upkept, really nice. And now that I'm older and working patrol, it's the same people that live in the area that lived there when I was growing up. It's just that they're elderly now and their grandchildren are now running the streets. They're in charge of that area. So I'm going to cure this for 2 minutes and be right back with the story. Okay, I cured that for 2 minutes. That did really good. I'm going to do another layer. I might need some more UV resin. So like I said, the neighborhood visually was deceiving. Like I said, everything was well kept, but and I worked midnight, so it was crazy once the sun set, boy. And this guy, he was getting gas. He was on his way home. He lived in a neighboring city, and I guess a young guy armed with a little, I'll call it a pew pew for you guys, trying to keep YouTube happy, but armed with something like that, and carjacked the guy. So we get there and we're talking to him, and he lets us know, that as he was getting gas, the guy took his car. Well, while we were there, another gentleman walked up on us on foot and told us that he had been robbed. And the description he gave us was the same description as the bad guy who carjacked this gentleman. So my partner was talking to the robbery victim, and I was getting more information from our carjacking victim. And he had told me, it was just he and I standing there, me and the victim, complainant, and he had told me that in the sunglass visor, not visor, but the little compartment where you can store your sunglasses, in some cars they have them, he had his Christmas money in there. He had $3,500 in this visor. And I told him, I says, well, the odds of, we were pretty good at recovering stolen cars, especially up in that area. Because they don't usually go too far with them, usually. But recovering the money is something totally different. The odds of us getting the money were slim to none, basically. And I told him that, and my partner finished taking the police report on the robbery, and I will come back in 2 minutes. Okay, that cured up real nice. So we get the information, and now we wait for somebody to come pick the guy up. We just didn't leave him on a dark street. And so about 10 minutes after, we're driving through the neighborhood, and about 10 minutes after the guy is picked up, we locate the Escalade. It's being driven down one of the side streets by the bad guy. I'm just putting a top coat, clear top coat on this. So right away we, activate our lights. Not so much our sirens. Just activate our lights just to see what the guy would do. And he took off down this dark side street, and we went after him, and he got halfway down the street, and the guy jumped out of the Escalade. The Escalade continued rolling down the street. He took off between the houses. I jump out of the car, the passenger side, and I'm now chasing after this Escalade that's going down the side streets, dark side street. And I tell my partner as I'm running, as I jump out of the car, go after the bad guy. So my partner takes off in the police car. I'm running down the street after this runaway Escalade. I'm going to cure this for 2 minutes and be right back. Okay, I did let this cool down. I cured this for about 4 minutes, but I let it cool down because this gets really warm, and you want to it can actually get hot, and you want it to cool down before you go. You don't want to keep sticking it in the UV light. So I'm going to unmold it now. Let's see what we got. Isn't that pretty? Very pretty. I see I got this little. That is so pretty. That cured really nice. So back to the story. First off, hold on. I'm going to get my acetate, and I'm going to set it on there. Get me a pen, and I'll draw this out, and then come back with the story. So I'm running down the street after this runaway Escalade. It's not going really fast, but I did have to run to catch up to it, and I'm only 5'3" on a good day. So I hoisted myself up, got inside, climbed inside this Escalade, and the guy had really loud music playing, and he had the seat kicked back to where he was almost sitting in the back seat driving this Escalade. So I had to turn off the radio and pull the seat up so I can reach and see over the steering wheel and reach the pedals and that. So if they wanted to, for whatever reason, get fingerprints off this Escalade, they couldn't, because I had just touched basically everything this guy had touched. Now I'm going to remove the plastic. There's plastic on both sides of this acetate. I don't want to scratch the acetate. So I get in there and I get control of this Escalade, and I have my radio on me. And when we called out that we had found the Escalade that we were giving chase, now every officer that is not occupied on a serious police call was making their way toward that area. So when the guy ran off, he didn't know that he was running right into the path of the other officers. So I hear on the radio that he was like 2 or 3 blocks over, he had carjacked a minivan, and they had given chase, and he tried to jump over a median, and he rolled the minivan, and then jumped out, got out of the minivan, and tried to run on foot, and they ended up catching him. But this I'm making it sound like it happened like really quick, and it didn't. It took a little while. And there was officers on foot, and I have just a bunch of, just dumping the stuff in here. It's just a bunch of little glass and beads and little stuff that I just pulled together to fill this little shaker up. So now there's officers on foot, in the area, and I'm trying to get to where the other car was rolled over, and trying to get to my fellow officers, and I'm seeing officers on foot, and I'm stopping. I'm driving this Escalade, and I pull up. I was like, "Hey, you need a ride?" And they're laughing. "Where'd you get this?" And it was funny. So I ended up picking up like three other officers. Like I said, my partner was, I'm gonna punch a hole in this heart. My partner was, I hope I punched that in the right spot, because sometimes you can, yeah, that looks all right. That's a little close. Let's see if I turn it around. Not that that's going to make any difference, I don't think. I might have to cut another one out. Let me cut another one out. I'll be right back. Okay, let's try this again. You want to go further in. You don't want to be too close to the edge. So, anyway, so I'm picking up officers that are on foot, and we pull up to the scene, and you have supervisors there, and they see me and 3 male officers climb out of this Escalade. It was hilarious because the look on the one sergeant's face was priceless. Like, what the heck? And the bad guy was caught, and so now we're waiting for a tow truck, and I'm going to take some UV resin, and I'm just going to go along the edge of the opening of this heart, and I want to make sure I don't leave any gaps. So so now we're waiting for a tow truck to come, a tow truck and an ambulance, because our bad guy, obviously, he rolled that minivan, so we had to make sure that he wasn't injured. So we had to let him, take him to the hospital and make sure that he was okay. And then we had to wait for 2 tow trucks, one to come get the rolled over minivan, and the other one to recover the Escalade. So while we're waiting for the tow truck, I remembered that guy had $3,500 stashed inside where you would place your eyeglasses, your sunglasses. So I climbed back in the Escalade, and I pulled on that little sunglass thing. I don't know what you would call that thing. But anyway, I pull that down, and his money was there. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked that money was there. So I right away got a coin envelope or a policy envelope out of my bag, and I placed his $3,500 in that policy envelope and put his name on it, and took it to the station. I'm gonna give this a flash cure with my torch, and then I'm going to place this in the UV light for 2 minutes. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I got that out, and now I have some shaker mix, and it is 2 parts glycerin to 1 part water. I thought I would try it. I usually use baby oil, but I want to give this a try. So I'm going to scooch all my pretties down in there, and I'm going to go in that hole, and I'm just going to slowly fill this. Hopefully it don't leak. So let me fill this up, and then I'll continue on with the story. And you want an air bubble, an air pocket. You want one formed in your shakers. That is how your shakers actually move. The bigger the air pocket, the more it moves. Let me put some more alcohol in here. So I'm going to dry it. Not dry it, but get most of the oil off. Alcohol. Now I'm going to dry it. Okay. Get my dotting tool. And I'm going to, I can still see some oil on there. In the light, I can see it. Okay. I'm going to grab my dotting tool and my torch. And I'm going to drop some resin over that hole and cure it. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more. My frame. And cure it. So the tow truck comes and gets both vehicles, and the bad guy gets taken to the hospital. And now I'm at the station and I'm filling out paperwork, and I get the guy the policy envelope with that $3,500. I'm just top coating this now. And I get the $3,500 and I put it in property, put the guy's name on it, and I call him and I let this man know that we recovered his vehicle, his Escalade, his beautiful Escalade. There was no damage done to the Escalade, and that I had recovered his $3,500, his Christmas money. That man was so happy. That was probably one of the best calls that I can remember doing as an officer for somebody, calling him up and letting him know that this man's, his property, including his money, which was so rare, was recovered. That man was so happy. I mean, it was looking bleak for that guy. Not only, I mean, his insurance obviously could replace that car, but that insurance was not going to replace $3,500 that he had in that vehicle. So that was really nice. That was a nice day. That turned out to be a good one. Not all of them turned out to be good. So like I said, if you want to hear any of the more serious stuff I could share with you guys, I could go there with you guys. But you gotta let me know. I'm not too sure what you guys want to hear. And I'm just trying to top coat this and get the whole thing covered without going over. Because usually I do the backside with some liquid latex before I even do this step. So I guess I could add more if I need to. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to take my little torch and I'm going to cure up here. and slowly bring it down because I don't want it to ripple. And these take practice, you know, but once you get it down, you get it down. So I'm gonna cure this in my lamp for, I'm gonna do a full 5 minutes. Well, I'm gonna do 2 minutes, check to see if it needs any more, and if it doesn't, then I'll do a full 5 minutes. There's something I wanted to put on here that I forgot, so I'll do it now. It's these little droplets. So I'm going to put some UV resin. Probably put another layer on there. I only had it curing for about a minute. And then I remembered I wanted to do this. So I'm just going to go edge to edge. I'm going to take this one. And this one. And this one. I'm going to hit it with my light. Okay. And there it is. Isn't that pretty? That turned out so pretty. You want to, I cannot stress letting this cool down in between putting it in your light. That light gets very hot and these can collapse on themselves. That's why I like using epoxy for the top coats anyway, you know, when I make these. But didn't that turn out beautiful? Let's see. What do you think? Do you like it? I like it. Let me know in the comments if you like it. Let's see, is it moving? Yeah, it's moving. It turned out so pretty. So that is using the Bond Craftor UV resin, the hard type. So yeah, I like it. It works really good. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments. Your likes and your comments really help my channel out a lot. I cannot stress that enough. And I truly appreciate your likes and your comments and you helping me grow my channel. I mean, it's been a lot of fun watching that. So I want to thank you for hanging out with me today. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give me a big thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. And to my subscribers, I truly appreciate you. Could not do this without you. You all have a great day and God bless. Bye.